Yeah, I'm afraid I might. Wow, thanks, Spider-Man.
Everybody gets one. Tell him, Peter.
Apparently everybody gets one.
Bingo.
Is Spider-Man Brand New Day the best Spider-Man film ever? What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of A World of Chaos. Spider-Man Brand New Day. First and foremost, this will be a spoiler-filled review. I'm going to talk completely about everything that happens in this movie, who certain characters are, and what happens in the end credits scene. So if you haven't seen Spider-Man Brand New Day yet, and you don't want any spoilers, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and come back after you see it, and let me know in the comments below what you think of my review and what you thought of the movie. Spider-Man Brand New Day is the latest film in the Tom Holland series of Spider-Man films. We now have had Tom Holland as Spider-Man for 10 years, marking his original debut in Captain America: Civil War.
On the roof!
Hey everyone.
Spider-Man Brand New Day is a direct sequel to Spider-Man Far From Home. No Way Home. Damn it, I always do that. Picking up years later now that Peter has been a fully fledged vigilante superhero and has been completely forgotten about everybody knowing he was Peter Parker. He has been Spider-Man pretty much the entire time. One thing they don't actually cover in this movie, which is kind of funny, is what Peter does for money. Peter has an apartment in what looks like either Lower Brooklyn or Lower Manhattan. And even though it is not a large apartment, which thankfully they didn't do what they do in most films where if somebody lives in New York, they have a sprawling loft-sized apartment, and I don't think Peter could afford that. Peter does have a assistant, which I do appreciate, being that he would have learned that from having Karen in his head in the Stark Tech Spider-Man suits. So I do like that he did continue that type of continuity from what he had previously. You also see that he has a machine fabricator that does make his web shooters and does repair his actual suit, and actually has a pretty advanced level of AI, which, knowing Peter's intellect, isn't surprising, but that's one thing I've liked about this Tom Holland version of the character. They fully embrace him being one of the smarter people in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
And the smartest man alive, Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four.
Picking up from Way Home with Doctor Strange making the spell that everybody, including himself, forgets that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Peter Parker has no life. Peter Parker has no friends. Peter Parker is just Spider-Man. And Eric has fully embraced Spider-Man. He actually gets the key to the city, and that was kind of a little spoiler if you watch Daredevil Born Again Season 2, when you see Deputy Mayor giving the key to the city to Spider-Man, knowing that Wilson Fisk was actually the mayor at the time. It was a little bit of a spoiler that, yeah, Daredevil's probably going to take him down. But Peter being Peter, he just can't let things lie, and he still wants to connect to MJ and Ned. So he still has the letter that he wrote at the end of No Way Home. He keeps it in the same coffee cup from Dean's Deli, and it's kind of a major plot point later on in the film, which I'll get to. You see that he's basically just Spider-Man all day, and he is still living vicariously, looking at Ned's. They haven't said what it is, and usually with Sony films, they have their own things because everybody uses a Sony phone or a Sony computer, but I guess a Sony social media app, and he's just seeing all of Ned's snaps through the years, because this goes about 4 years into the future. Ned and MJ go to MIT and then actually move back from Boston to New York. And you see Peter's actually also built alliances with other heroes. Peter actually has I'll say a frenemy level relationship with Frank Castle, the Punisher, played again by John Bernthal. And just cutting ahead, they have the best dynamic in the film, outside of Tom and Zendaya, of course. But it's so fun to see John and Tom. If you don't know, they actually filmed each other's auditions for their Marvel roles. They were filming a film back in 2015, and John filmed Tom's audition for Spider-Man, and he's actually the one that suggested that Tom use his ballet and gymnastics background to do some flips in his audition to set him apart from any other actor. And that's probably what did lead Tom get the role. And Tom, in turn, filmed John's actual audition for Punisher for Daredevil Season 2. They remain good friends. They actually were together earlier this month in the film The Odyssey, and it's the year of John Bernthal, Tom Holland, and Zendaya, because the 3 biggest movies of this year will probably contain at least one of them. Also, you have to watch their Hot Ones interview. It is probably one of my favorites, and stay until the absolute end, because Tom Holland has a Hot Ones first, and it is hilarious and disgusting. We pick up with Peter trying to figure out what this new enemy is, because they're attaching themselves mentally to other people. I am going to completely spoil it right now. Yes, we all knew it from the first trailer, from the casting. Sadie Sink is Jean Grey of the X-Men. Now, she's the only X-Men we know as of right now. She is never referred to as a mutant in the film, but we all knew it was pretty much her when we heard the casting, and the first set photo leaks did show her character with a hood that had green and yellow colors. You don't hire a redheaded actress to wear something green and yellow and be in a Marvel film without it being Jean Grey. I went in knowing this, but still, I think they handled it very well when they did it in the film. When they did announce her name, it was a wink and a nod to everybody. Knew, like, yeah, okay. Jean, honestly, she is... I'm not going to say I agree with some of the sentiments that people have against mutants, but from this film, Jean Grey does not make it easy on mutant kind. She is a straight up domestic terrorist.
You'll never see me coming.
And she has legitimately killed people. She is trying to find her sister, who also has the same mutation as her. It's kind of weird. Never actually heard of 2 siblings having the exact same power. I could be lax in my X-Men mutant knowledge, but I've never actually heard of that. In the 3rd act, you do see Jean's mutation gets a bump, and that actually leads her to get her telekinesis powers outside of just being a telepath. Because Jean is an Omega level mutant, she has telekinesis and telepathic powers. For instance, as you know, Charles Xavier, Professor X, is just a telepath. Jean can not only control you with her mind, but she can control things with her mind. And I do like that this kind of showed how the X gene under stress can evolve their mutations. Oh, the Hulk is in this film. I did enjoy it. I am glad that I was wrong, because there is a screen grab that we had from the trailers that showed Peter versus the Hand, and the way the blocking was, it looked a little odd, and a lot of people tried to theorize that the Hulk and Daredevil were actually in this same scene, similar to the one we saw in Far From Home, where you had Peter just jumping versus Sandman versus Electro versus the Lizard, and it's like, that's weird blocking. Well, this actually wasn't the case. They were not hiding anything in the trailers outside of Sadie Sink's face. The emotional crutch of this film does lie with Peter trying to still connect with Ned and MJ. I'm not gonna just wax poetic about the amazing chemistry that the Hollands have on screen with each other. Being that you've seen these characters through 3 films grow together, there is a scene which actually makes me not a fan of Jean Grey, where she takes control of MJ somehow, which is actually never explained. Also, I don't know if another channel on YouTube is going to go into a deep dive of that.
Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, and this video we're breaking down Spider-Man Brand New Day.
I found over 100 actual Easter eggs and really hard to spot details in Spider-Man Brand New Day. I'm Eric Boss of the New Rockstars channel, and this is a complete break.
Previous scene is established that Jean Grey can only jump telepathically to another person if they're within 30 feet of her. That's her range. Peter wisely traps her high in a skyscraper in a helicopter. The next scene, he gets to MJ knowing that she's a target, and then come to find out Jean has actually possessed her. It's a scene where they kiss. She says she remembers Peter. He gets happy, and then the ball drops, and that was some of the best emotion I've had post-Endgame in a Marvel's film. That was an amazing moment. Amazing acting by Zendaya and Tom. He's at the peak of his powers right now. It was absolutely gut-wrenching knowing that somebody was playing with his emotions.
Like playing with my emotions.
One of the things in this movie that is one of the main plot devices that comes around the second act, which I think is a huge setup, and I think it's something that if Marvel doesn't do any more course correcting, the next phase of the MCU, and that is it goes through what you could refer to almost as spider puberty.
Probably spider puberty.
Hey, come on.
His mutation is going a little haywire with his arachnid DNA, and he creates a device based in part on the device that Bruce Banner has to control him not becoming the Hulk, which we originally saw back in 2022 in She-Hulk. And Peter uses this to control his mutation. Him and Bruce have an amazing conversation that Bruce actually does bring it up. If you control one mutation, how are you not going to be able to control other ones? And it can be used possibly nefariously. It's what they use to capture Jean Grey. It's what Peter uses to control his arachnid powers from going haywire. But if you know Marvel Comics and you know something that controls a person's mutant DNA ability, this is what's going to lead to most likely the Sentinels and the Sentinel program creating the mutant dampening power collar. Because you've seen it most recently in Deadpool 2. That is the collar that you see around their neck controlling their mutations. It's never fully been, at least from what I've seen in general media, explained how that collar just controls their mutation. Well, they legitimately gave it a scientific, actual basis.
Of course! Don't you know anything about science?
X-Men find out that he's the reason. That is going to be very fun to see, most likely in 5 or 6 years.
Shut up and take my money.
This film has the best action I've ever seen in a Spider-Man film, bar none. Tom interviewed on the red carpet and was asked a question, did he play the Spider-Man Insomniac games? And Tom has spoken in the past of loving the games. He's a big Spider-Man fan. The night before the premiere, he was just up on adrenaline because he's been doing press for around 2 months almost between the Odyssey and this. The Insomniac games, and said that they were a big basis for the actual combat in this film. And you can see that. If you played Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man Miles Morales, you can tell that these fight scenes were heavily inspired by that. They even have the web grenade from the first Spider-Man Insomniac game in 2018. And the big fight scene that happens between Peter and the Hand, he does the web tornado where he just spins around and shoots his webs and sticks everywhere to walls. It is absolutely amazing and spectacular.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
The end credit scene. There was only one end credit scene in this film. It is literally after all of the credits for Secret Wars. Ned Spidey tracker, which is a good reference to what Peter's actual tracking devices are in the comics, but it's an app that actually tracks Spider-Man's last known and current location. And this actually starts to ping, goes all the way out from Earth, and then goes to a whole different universe. How Ned's technology would show that, but it's basically letting you know Spider-Man's gonna be in Secret Wars. Originally, Spider-Man Brand New Day was to come out after Avengers Doomsday, but because of some schedule reshuffling, that's most likely what happened to this actual end credit scene. Okay, so lastly, my rating. I absolutely love this film. I have seen every Spider-Man film, live action Spider-Man film in theaters outside of The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Sorry, Andrew, but I spotted in the trailers how that probably wasn't going to be my jam.
No, please.
I think this is the best Spider-Man film we've ever had. I think this is the next great trilogy of Spider-Man films. I think this is the next great arc in the MCU. And having another trilogy with this character, with him their fourth film in their own series, I think Tom is going to truly cement himself as we've had on screen.
Everyone say their favorite Spider-Man. All right? 1, 2, 3.
Andrew Garfield.
What? Are you kidding me? It's not even close. There'd be no Spider-Man movies without Tobey Maguire. In fact, there'd be no superhero movies without Tobey Maguire.
No way. Garfield never got a chance.
Is Affleck the best Batman? No, but he had the best Batman body.
He'll be the first ex-Spider-Man to win an Oscar.
Just because it's an animation, people think it's not legit.
I love this film. I encourage you to see it. I give this a 9.5 out of 10. I think this is the best post-Endgame comic book film we have had in the genre. I think this is borderline top 10 MCU. If you've made it this far in the video, first of all, thank you for your time. If you made it this far and you enjoyed what you watched, please like, subscribe, follow on any platform, and then please share this content out to the friends you know that like this type of content. Please subscribe, follow, like, comment. I've been Kayos. You've been awesome. Do it responsibly.